Let me tell you, I'm doing the best I can, but actually I'm kind of hurting. The worst thing about this injury is it's hard to stand for long periods of time. And about this time I start to get tired. So I'm going to sort of sit down with a confession. When I signed that executive order banning cloning research, it was too late to do anything about an experiment or two that had already been started. But one of them has come in handy in moments like this. Bill, would you mind?
Mr. President, have a seat. By the way, I'd appreciate it if you'd refer to me as Mr. President. I think you've earned it. Mr. President, members of the House and Senate, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm also Bill Clinton. Typically, when I come in to mop up at the end of an event like this, I'll just finish reading from some prepared text and say things like, "We must find common ground. We're going to build a bridge to the 21st century. I'll have to refer you to Lanny Davis on that one. Yada, yada, yada."
Mr. President, Mr. President.
This is odd. Evidently, George Bush has successfully escaped and has been spotted swimming toward the coast of Maine. Hell does that mean? Well, where was I? Oh, yeah. You know what I would like to tell you all about tonight? How much how much I hate waiting around to see if I'm going to pinch hit for him today. It's demeaning. It's dehumanizing. I don't know how Al Gore's put up with it all these years. But I shouldn't complain. I mean, if you're going to be a clone, you're not going to do a whole lot better than being a clone of the President of the United States. The key to being a clone is making sure you're the clone of somebody cool. Let's face it, this gig could be a whole lot worse. Imagine waking up and finding out you're a Bob Dornan clone. Sitting up all night counting votes. It is not for the squeamish. I did get some work done. I had a meeting with some members of Congress about some chemical weapons, some treaty type thing. Mr. President, remind me, are we for that or against it? We're for it. I'll tell you what, I do love that red phone. Oh, by the way, maybe you ought to be the one to call Yeltsin back and apologize. If I call him again, I'll just make it worse. We'll come back up here. Mr. President of the United States.
I have to take this over before it gets out of hand. God knows I can't afford to jeopardize my relationship with the press corps. But I want to thank you, Bill, or Mr. President. By the way, I wrote up a to-do list for you for the next couple of days. As usual, there's the morning jog. You have to do that now. Tomorrow at 3:30, I have a conflict. I have a root canal appointment and a press conference in the East Room. I know it's going to hurt, but would you mind doing the press conference? No, wait a minute. I couldn't ask anybody else to do that, even me. Actually, I enjoy these press conferences, and I enjoy coming here every year. I thank you all for what you've done to sustain our democracy for nearly 225 years. Our country is still a work in progress, and I look forward to building on that progress with you. I even look forward to these dinners, and I really wouldn't want to send anyone else in my place. So I want to thank all of you for having Hillary, me, and me here this evening. In closing, let me say, we must find common ground. We are going to build that bridge to the 21st century. I do have to refer you to Lanny Davis on that one. Yada, yada, yada. Good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm not really sure who to thank, but thank Darrell Hammond from Saturday Night Live. And thank you again, Mr. President, for coming back.